Bob Baer, 21-year CIA veteran and one of the most respected intelligence minds in the world, has spent the last year investigating the fate of Adolf Hitler at the end of World War II.
From the moment I started looking into this case, it didn't add up. We have no forensic evidence that he died in that bunker. Ignorance is bliss. The public does not want to believe that we lost Adolf Hitler. Look at that. 14,621 files. It's incredible. I mean, every intelligence agency in the world is looking at this.
Now, with unprecedented access to over 14,000 declassified documents from around the world, Bob has deployed a team of world-renowned experts armed with the most cutting-edge technology to continue his international investigation.
We are completely in uncharted waters. For the first time, we are opening up these files and putting them all together. I want to get to the bottom of this. In fact, I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Previously on Hunting Hitler.
In the context of looking for Hitler's escape route, we are now getting into specifics for the first time. A certain ex-Luftwaffe pilot, Captain Baumgart, swore under oath that he flew Hitler from Berlin on 29 April 1945.
Maybe there really is a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D that we don't know about.
You have here the Führerbunker, just 20 to 25 meters away. I found an exit very close to the bunker.
Now Hitler's got another way out.
A plane, which was piloted by Hannah Reich, flew out of Berlin from the Brandenburg Gate.
And it looks like it was a runway. It was a makeshift runway.
Hannah Reich, she's able to fly a plane in and out of here on April 28th. Allegedly, on April 29th, Baumgart flies Hitler out of here. But what about these lampposts? How are you going to get wings of an airplane down here?
We will generate a 360-degree spherical image.
You can see everything.
Look what they've got here.
You're actually talking about a defensible militarized zone in Misiones, Argentina.
That is huge. Why is this in the middle of the jungle? The person that is using this is protected by the people that are using that.
I just think the Misiones is just like bizarre. I mean, who was living up there and for what reason? And what were they protecting?
Bob Baer and war crimes investigator Dr. John Sensage are overseeing a dual-pronged investigation. While the European team investigates a reported escape by Hitler from Berlin the day before he was believed dead, Bob and John focus in on the South American leg of their investigation. In the jungles of Misiones, Argentina, they have uncovered 4 mysterious structures in the same area that a declassified Argentinian document reports the presence of a Nazi militarized outpost.
We have found there a compound that could have protected somebody of Hitler's stature. I've never seen anything like this. You've got the buildings, all these Nazi artifacts. You've got a barracks, you've got military bullets, and then you've got China. I mean, who takes China into the middle of the jungle? For what reason? I want somebody to explain to me what this compound was and why those people inside the compound had to set up a military base. For whom?
If we can find more evidence of structures or the ability to defend this high-value target, that means that this is some sort of Nazi military compound.
I agree. If in fact it was a compound, there's stuff to be dug up.
We keep finding stuff, but we're not finding answers, we're just finding more questions.
U.S. Army Special Forces Tim Kennedy, along with archaeologists Daniel Chavozone and Alasdair Brooks, investigate the dense jungle surrounding building number 4, which appears to have been a military barracks less than a mile from the other 3 residential structures.
When you're trying to paint a comprehensive picture of what a military compound would look like in the jungle, you're looking for observation posts, structures, defensive positions. This is way more than a hideout in the jungle. But if this is a military outpost, I have to see a lot more.
Danielle, Tim!
Hey, what'd you find?
If we come up here, we've got these few loose rocks, but if you follow it through, this isn't a natural formation.
Yeah, you're right.
It's kind of weird.
It's very clear it's a man-made feature. It's a wall in a straight line.
Wow.
The construction technique for these walls is fairly basic. It's just rocks laying on top of each other, but you can see those levels building up. They are clearly artificial. A certain level of planning and intent seems to have gone into this stone wall. It looks like it's making use of natural features in the landscape, and it seems to be going up to another natural feature up there. Whether it goes any further than that's an open question right now.
All right, I'm gonna go right. We'll make this our center point for right now in our working area.
Yes.
To build something like this wall in the middle of the jungle, where there's no one for miles, that was by design, and that was for a reason. It has to serve a purpose. And I want to find that purpose. Oh yeah, we got something over here for sure. Another one. This is a second wall. Powerfully constructed, strategically located. Got another wall down there? Oh, man. Oh, this is absolutely connected. Another wall for sure. This is legit. Hey, guys!
Have something?
Yeah, this is a full rock face right here.
It looks like you have a couple of lines of stone here, and that's definitely artificial again. What we're seeing here is a much more impressive sequence than the wall we started with. This is much higher, and then has flat terraced levels rising down from where the two of you are standing.
The team has discovered a terrace-like structure, 2 tiers of paved ground reinforced by man-made stone walls built into the hillside.
Do you have any idea what the terraces are for?
So the flat ground, you can't have troops running back and forth, tripping and breaking their necks. You can't set up machine guns. You can't fight off of uneven ground. You want every single advantage. You want them to have the disadvantage of coming up a hill. You want to be at the top of the hill. If you're coming up and you get to this is going to slow you down for a second. That is long enough for you to die. This is them setting themselves up for success. This terrace is in a very well-made fighting position. It's made by somebody that knows what they're doing. Somebody that has built battle positions before, and it screams military. What is that thing? You see that? Gentlemen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got something. Come up here, check this out. Yes. Holy. What is this? Even though there's not much left, you can see where the door and the posts went from the framework.
Yes. Still have a little bit of the entrance threshold here as well.
This is a standalone building that serves a functional purpose.
We just don't know what that is yet.
It's one room, you know, with 2 doors and a window.
We know what this building's not. This building is not for somebody to live.
No restroom, no kitchen, no nothing.
What the hell is this thing? Guard shack? That's what it feels like. Where it's situated, you have obvious layers of protective defensive structures through the jungle. These segments of the wall that we can find probably form an entire perimeter around the original structures, buildings 1, 2, and 3 at the center. This feels like another layer of defense. This is the exact spot I would have put a guard shack. This very well could be where you're going to be launching patrols from. Do all the things that you would have to do to create another layer of protection for who was behind it.
This is amazing technology, you know. There's the Brandenburg Gate.
While the South American team continues to investigate the potential Nazi military compound in Argentina, Bob and John review the 3D laser scans from Berlin to determine if the avenue extending from the Brandenburg Gate could be the location where a declassified MI6 file reports Luftwaffe pilot Peter Baumgart flew Hitler from Berlin the day before he was believed dead.
Runway length, 6,033 feet. That's a lot of feet for a short takeoff landing.
Just a little over a mile.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than you need. Let's look at the width, 93 feet.
Except, let's not forget that the lamppost had been removed. That gives us 144
feet, which you could land a C-130.
Almost any plane, a DC-3 could have gotten out of there on this particular makeshift runway. So really, there isn't any question in my mind that Baumgart could have gotten out of Berlin. I mean, it's long enough, it's wide enough, it works.
There's no other explanation other than they're turning this into a makeshift runway. Hunter Reich used it on the 28th, makes it out successfully, a test run if you like. 29th, Baumgart says he flew Hitler out, and Hitler supposedly dies on the 30th. The detail is all coming together to paint a picture of Hitler's possible escape like we've never seen before, ever.
All of this fits together, but I think we really have an issue. According to this MI6 file, Baumgart flew a Messerschmitt, an ME-108. It had a range of about 600 or 700 miles. They're not long-distance planes. These types of aircraft being used at this makeshift runway, no way could they have made it to Spain. And it's 2,000 miles away. Earlier in the investigation, we determined that one of the very likely routes out of Berlin would have been to Spain. We have an FBI document, and it states here, Hitler refused to involve Spain in the war because he has a promise of sanctuary there when Germany is defeated.
There's one man that Hitler could go to for salvation, the leader of Spain, the dictator Franco.
If Hitler's fleeing Berlin, it's certainly possible that he would have gone to Spain. But it's most likely that he had an intermediate stop on one of the smaller aircraft.
And where would you go this late in the game?
Well, let's dig into this database and see exactly what we have on Baumgart and where he could have actually gone.
There we go. The reporting agency is MI6. This was a report from 18 December 1947. Baumgart arrived at Berlin on 28 March 1945. In April, he was ordered to convey to Denmark a very high official, and there was reason to believe that the person in question must have been Hitler himself.
And the plot thickens.
Denmark makes a lot of sense. It's not like the Allies are landing on the beaches there. They're coming through France, and the Russians are coming across Germany. So there's no battle going on in Denmark at the time. Until May 5th, Denmark was still a Nazi stronghold. I mean, you could land an airplane there.
From Berlin to the heart of Denmark is just a hair short of 300 miles.
That is a short flight with a fast military airplane.
We need to get the team into Denmark. We know Nazi infrastructure is obviously in Germany and in other countries, but we really need to be able to zero in on Denmark to see what type of Nazi infrastructures were there. That's still something that needs to be answered.
Yeah, let's get to Denmark, see if it was a stopping point. I bet we find something.
If you're on the run, you need a network, don't you?
You absolutely need a network. And a guy like Hitler, of course, at that point, he's the most wanted man in the world, so he's only going to trust a very few people.
Lenny DePaul, former U.S. Marshal Commander, is joined by James Holland, world-renowned historian and expert on Nazis during World War II.
An investigation like this, you simply can't look at it from a 21st century perspective. I've been studying this for many years, trying to get into the head of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi elite. You need that historical context.
To determine the extent of the Nazi presence in Denmark that could have been at Hitler's disposal at the end of the war, the team is heading to a little-known German military installation along the Danish coast.
If this was Adolf Hitler's exact plan of escape to head north to Denmark, he would have set the table, he would have had the right infrastructure, the right people in place. So I'm gonna shake a lot of trees and see what falls out of them around here. Well, here we are.
Oh, that's him.
Hello? Christian?
Christian.
How are you? Right.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and you, good to see you. Nice to meet you.
Christian Ringsko, the head curator of the site, is granting the team unprecedented access to a series of bunkers used by the Nazis during their occupation of Denmark.
God, Lenny, look at that. Wow.
It's incredible, isn't it?
When was this place built, Christian?
First bunkers were cast in 1942. For decades, they were hidden under sand, but then in 2008, they were once again accessible.
At the end of World War II, these bunkers were buried out of sight under 33 feet of sand. But in 2008, a massive storm unearthed them, allowing access for the first time since 1945.
So suddenly you can get in again.
Suddenly you can get in again. And to our great surprise, all the personal stuff, all the soldiers' belongings were still in. So all of a sudden, we were quite close to the actual people who were here. You have to remember that the defeated German army walks back to Germany.
So they dropped everything and went home?
Yeah.
Can we take a look?
Of course we can.
Have a look at the width of these walls, Lenny.
Jesus, look at these. Solid concrete, what?
6 feet.
6 feet. Typical German fashion, huh? Thick concrete walls.
I mean, look at it. It's so solid.
There is stuff in here I need to show you. Right in here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this.
The team is granted access to artifacts that were left behind when the Nazi troops fled this area at the end of the war. These objects were entombed in this bunker for nearly 70 years.
Yes, This is an ongoing investigation of the occupation of Denmark.
This is the sort of thing that makes me very happy, Lenny.
Oh, look at that. German Luger, right?
Yeah, that's a German Luger. This is really interesting because your common garden troops are not going to be carrying a Luger. But this is kind of elite stuff. It's not the sort of kit that you're going to be handing out to recruits. That suggests that you've got some troops in the area who kind of know what they're about.
These are tubes from the radars here.
Really?
In this position.
So there's a radar here?
There's not one radar, there are 6 big radars here, yes. And this is the heart of the technology.
There's a whole level of sophistication to support clandestine operations. Something big was going on here.
Look at this room in here.
It's a big one.
Look at this.
Yeah.
What went on in here?
This is the heart of the Luftwaffe operation bunker. In this very room, the information from the radars are being analyzed.
The Luftwaffe is here, the German Air Force. This is like some sort of a command post or a control center.
Yes.
What aircraft are we talking about here?
They are controlling a German night fighter.
Night fighters?
Yeah. This is top secret.
Operating from as far north as the Danish coast, the Nazi night fighters were one of the most elite squadrons of Hitler's Luftwaffe Air Force. Utilizing experimental forms of radar, avionics, and weaponry, they executed missions in the dead of night, wreaking havoc on Allied targets.
Well, the interesting thing, Lenny, about this place is that anyone who's working here is doing so under, high security. You're not allowed to breathe a word of this. In other words, these are people that can keep a secret. These are people you can trust. If I was Hitler, and if I was trying to get out, I would want to come to Denmark. It's the one place where the Germans are still occupying, that they've got all the infrastructure that you could possibly want. You've got the secure bunkers, you've got the radar system, and you've got troops. So Denmark is about as good a place as you could hope to go to as any in the world.
What I really find interesting about Misiones is, of course, we have this 5th structure here that's consistent with the others.
While the European team continues to investigate Denmark, Bob and John review the findings from the jungles of Misiones, Argentina, which could be home to a Nazi militarized compound. as reported by a declassified Argentinian document.
It's not consistent with a civilian structure. This is out in the middle of the jungle. These people were prepared for an attack of some sort.
Agreed. And here I have the discoveries that we found from our investigative efforts. There's a wall that's encircling the compound. You have the guard shack, and you also have building number 4. It's a 2-story structure that looks like it could have been used to house soldiers or security forces.
You know, the patterns, it does look like some sort of outer perimeter.
What's really critical here is building 1. This is the one with the opulent residence. This is the epicenter. And then everything else surrounds that.
It's clear to me this was some sort of compound.
Now look at this. This right here. It's strange. Here's the water. And this is a point that's not protected. This is the proverbial Achilles heel. Anybody that knows anything about fortifying any type of military compound would not leave this open right here. This is pretty conspicuous.
Yeah.
If I was seeking to capture whoever was in building 1, there's only one place I would come in, and that's the small inlet shaped just like a heel. And there appears to be a straight shot from the inlet directly to building number 1.
You get a Zodiac there on the shore and be up at building 1 without a protection in 2 minutes. You simply don't take your chances hoping that nobody's going to come up out of the water. You have to look at all the labor that went into this compound. We're talking millions of dollars to build this place. And if you're going to put that kind of money into it and put military arms into it, you're going to find a way to defend the whole thing.
We need to get our team on the ground here and to find out what else is here or may have been there that would have offered more protection for building number 1.
Yeah, we have to complete the picture here.
Movement of a high-value target in this area, you can't find a better place on the planet to do it than right here.
Tim Kennedy, Alasdair Brooks, and Daniel Chavelzone navigate the waters of the Paraná River, which runs along the Misiones compound.
So I have our point of interest plotted on the GPS in between these cliffs, right at the water's edge.
These cliffs are certainly spectacular.
They're visually stunning, absolutely, but as a climber, those are treacherous.
Even if you're not carrying that much equipment, these are a barrier.
Right around this bend is that spot.
So this is it.
So we have a cliff face here, another cliff here, and this somewhat lower level, when you look at it.
Yeah, but that's some of the densest jungle we've seen so far.
There could be someone standing 1 foot in that vegetation and we couldn't see him. You could have artillery sitting there and we couldn't see it.
You could have a house in there and you couldn't see it.
There are houses in there and we can't see them.
Absolutely true. It's difficult for us to get close.
Yeah, there's a bunch of logs and tree stumps that are in there too. Wait. You see that? Hey, we flip back around.
Do you think you saw something?
There's definitely a different color from the vegetation in the background. I saw something kind of tan.
Something over here?
Yep. Right there. Is that all one big rock?
It is.
If this is your access point, and they're building fortifications that prevent your access, this is strategic. We gotta see what that is. Oh, it's cold.
Be careful.
Way bigger than I thought. And it's thick enough. It would stop bullets. It would stop a grenade. That's timber. That's not a tree. This might be the edge of a foundation to a structure right here. They could have built it right into this wall. It would have had overhead cover, use some of the vegetation as camouflage, pile it up on top of this. This isn't completely bulletproof. At the one point that you have access to the shore. Wait, what is this? This you cannot miss. That is a perfect right angle. These are chisel marks too. What the? You could shoot straight across this. There's no possible way that somebody could get across this body of water alive. This is gonna give you an elevated position to rain down hell.
We have this infrastructure along the coast of Denmark. Obviously, elite German Nazi forces were there.
Which would have been loyal to Hitler.
Definitely the ability to protect Hitler.
Yeah, I agree.
Bob and John discussed the European leg of their investigation, which is focusing on Hitler's possible flight to Denmark the day before he was believed dead, as reported by a declassified MI6 file.
Question is, if Baumgart or any other pilot were to come into Denmark, where's the airstrip?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's dig into the database to see what we can find.
Yeah, see what we come up with. Nuremberg trial, 15 March 1948. Interrogation of Friedrich von Angelotti Mackensen.
Yeah, he was a major in the SS.
You saw Hitler and several comrades in May 1945. His answer, yes. Who are his comrades? I only know that in one of the planes in which Hitler was, that this plane was being flown or piloted by a certain Captain Baumgart. Voila. Where did you see them? In Tonder.
Where's Tonder?
I've never heard of it. There we go.
Right there at the German border.
Yeah, right on the German border. So basically, if this SS major was right, he flies from Berlin. As soon as he gets across the border into Denmark, which is still Nazi occupied, and puts down there. Here's a guy whose life was in the balance, and in the middle of the questioning, he says he saw Hitler and Tonder. I think that's huge. Hitler, Tonder, Denmark. There we go.
Luftwaffe airfields from 1935 to 45 in Denmark. The landing ground in southwest Denmark. It was a World War I German airship station. It was abandoned after the First World War. It was listed in World War II German documents as an available landing ground.
It's a clandestine airport. It's what we were looking for. It's utterly remarkable. This isn't like a known place. You know, if he said, oh, I saw Hitler at Copenhagen Airport, you know, that's sort of a giveaway. But he's talking about a base that was unknown to most people, probably to very few people, that had been a World War I base, that it was possible to still land in there.
Well, it had to be because he was there.
Yeah. The question is, one, could you put an airplane down? It's flown from Berlin. Two, what do you do from there?
We need to get the team in there to look at that to see how it could have been used in late April 1945.
Let's get into Tonder.
Well, rumors.
There's rumors.
You know what rumors are, right?
Yeah. But you know what they say, where there's smoke.
We'll find the fire.
Lenny DePaul and James Holland head for the location of the Tonder airfield in search of evidence that Hitler could have used this site as a transit point to Spain.
Here we go.
Oh, here it is, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go in here. Looks like a hangar. Certainly could have accommodated an airplane. Massive, massive building. Yo, hello, I'm Lenny.
Anders.
Anders, nice to meet you.
The team makes contact with Anders Jacobsen, an expert on Nazi Luftwaffe activities in Denmark.
What is this?
It was originally built in 1914 to protect the German Imperial Navy airship base here.
What about the runway?
The airstrip right here in both directions.
Really? Okay. Just right in front of us?
Yes.
This way?
Yeah.
Is there any remnants of tarmac or pavement or anything?
No. There was no tarmac or anything, or no concrete. It was grass.
They landed on grass?
They landed on grass.
And what kind of troops would have been here?
We have reports of Luftwaffe personnel being here. In total clandestine conditions, you could land here. There would be no one here except those people that you would like to be here. This was top secret at that time.
It wasn't a concrete runway or anything, but it's still in German hands. It's got all the facilities you can need. It's not on the enemy radar at all. You know, that has a lot to be said for it.
How long was the runway? Any idea?
It would have been about 1,000 times 1,000 meters.
Okay.
So
quite a mile.
Yeah.
This is pretty big. But if these trees did exist, you're certainly not going to get a big airplane in here, maybe a smaller one. But how's anybody going to get out of here on a bigger aircraft and make his way all the way to Spain?
That discounts it completely.
What if these trees weren't here? There was nothing there. Boom, perfect spot to land and take off. But if those trees were standing 70 years ago, we're in trouble. This one here looks good. I'm gonna take a sample of this tree and make a determination on how long this tree's been standing here. I get in there as deep as I can, so at least 6 inches anyways.
Lenny uses an incremental borer, a highly specialized instrument that acquires a sample from deep within a tree's core that will allow experts to determine the age of these trees down to the month.
That's what I'm looking for right there. There's my sample. You know, we're talking about a 70-year-old cold case here. The smallest bit of evidence like this tree sample that I just took stands in the way between me knowing whether or not Hitler could have flown out of here on a big aircraft. These results could be what makes or breaks the case.
This man-made structure, and you can see where the rock is cut here, there's no other explanation for that except to defend this group of buildings.
Bob Baer and John Sensich review the findings from the team in Misiones, Argentina.
I mean, I'll go out on a limb, and considering what we found, this was a Nazi compound. You've got weapons, bullets, guardhouses, defensible perimeter. It was a Nazi military zone, and it was protecting one person who was very important. Whoever was there didn't feel comfortable wandering around South America. It had to be somebody really damn important. Problem is, the only thing we have connecting Hitler with this is the stomach medicine.
It's a potential connection.
Most of the medicines are for the stomach problems.
Hitler has a serious ailment, and stockpiles of medicine for that type of problem are found in this building in Misiones.
I think the stomach medicine is important, but it's tenuous. I like the stomach medicine, but it's really just highly speculative. I mean, that's not going to convince me at the end of the day. I want something more.
Let's not forget that within 50 miles, there are several small towns. From my perspective, that's the next logical place to take this investigation, is to find out whether or not there are people still alive or people alive that have been told from others what was going on at this location.
I'd be shocked if people in that area didn't know something about this compound. Someone is going to have something to say. It's going to add another piece that may put us closer to putting Hitler here.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's walk across and talk to that guy right there.
Tim Kennedy makes his way through the small towns that make up the Misiones province. 50 miles from the Nazi militarized compound in the jungle.
Pardon, ¿tú tienes un momento?
No.
So we'll have to find somebody to talk to.
Tim is joined by world-renowned investigative journalist Gerard Williams and a local translator.
To try and track down the escape of Adolf Hitler 70 years after it happened is going to be difficult for anybody.
I'm trying to find German families that lived in this area for a really, really long time.
No. Okay. Why not?
Thank you.
To think that he escaped and we are still being lied to 70 years on makes me very, very angry, and always will do. So we follow as many leads as we can. Every single thing that we come up against.
We're trying to find if there's any rich German families.
Oh, está moviendo. No quiere hablar.
They're the ones that look like they know something are the guys that never want to talk.
Yeah.
And there's a reoccurring theme here. Everywhere. To this day, the power of the Nazi idea still exists here. People are still tight-lipped, closed-mouthed about anything associated with the Nazis.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, chicos.
My friend and I are trying to find families here in the area, specifically German families that have lived here a long time.
Poco peligroso hablar en este lugar.
Okay, he says it could be a little dangerous actually to talk about it in this area.
Es un lugar donde hay muchos alemanes.
This is a place.
Muchos nazis.
After the war or before the war?
Después de la guerra.
It's after the war.
After the war.
Hay una persona de acá, 3 kilómetros, que le puede dar una información.
Okay, he tells us that there are actually one person who could help us out.
Es Aníbal Silvero.
Okay, he's called Aníbal Silvero.
Silvero.
He's from here, yeah, and he knows a lot of what happened about Nazis.
It's obvious. The city holds a seriously dark secret. There are many, many German families here that are hiding something. But you only do that for one reason, because they're still scared. There is still a huge amount more to be discovered in Misiones. And that's what we're going to do. We'll get to the bottom of it. We're a long way from a main road, Tim.
Yeah.
In the outskirts of Misiones, Argentina, Tim Kennedy and Gerard Williams prepare to make contact with a local man who is rumored to have information about Nazi activities in the area.
Honestly, I'm not totally comfortable meeting someone we haven't vetted.
On a dirt road in the middle of a forest in Argentina.
After we've been walking around town asking about Nazis.
Their contact has requested to meet the team at night due to the sensitivity of his information.
I got you back. Hola, señor.
Hola.
Hola, hola.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Gerardo. Why are we here?
Es un tema apasionante este que nos convoca. Es algo que en Misiones en mucho tiempo se habla de los alemanes que han venido aquí.
Why here, out in the forest, in the middle of nowhere?
Es una tierra que albergó durante finales de los años 40 y principios de 50 en adelante a muchos inmigrantes alemanes que venían desde Europa buscando refugio. Y tengo algo muy asombroso que mostrarle.
¿Es cerca de acá o no?
Es cerca de acá.
It's really close. He said you need to come and see it.
What the hell is this in the middle of a forest? That's amazing.
What is this place?
En este lugar vivía la familia Bremer.
The house was built in the 40s, and this was the most wealthy family in the area.
Pero que hacía reuniones donde venían alemanes y que además muchas pertenencias que eran de los alemanes y entre esos figuras de esvásticas.
This family had meetings here in this house under a Nazi flag. Rumors actually say that they also were hiling before going in.
Is it safe to go inside? Can we go and walk around?
¿Es posible entrar en la casa?
Miremosla por dentro.
What the hell?
Gerard, the tile in here,
Yeah.
I've seen it before.
Where?
In a military compound off the Paraná River.
The same style, Tim? Same color? What?
The pattern, the layout, they either had the same designer, the same architect, the same supplier, or all of the above.
Well, so it's been deserted a while. Why is this house derelict? Where did the Bremers go?
Hay una historia muy desconocida alrededor de la familia porque de la noche a la mañana desaparecieron.
Could this house be a safe house? Could this simply be a place where intelligence is gathered? We don't really know at this stage. Can you ask Annabelle, we need names for people that we can go and talk to. Can he supply us with any?
Les recomiendo hablar con... Aquí en esta ciudad hay una señora Adela Goering.
Goering, the grandniece of Hermann Goering.
Hermann Goering, the head of the Luftwaffe, his great niece is living in Misiones.
Coincidences like this don't exist.
It's not a coincidence, how can it be?
No.
Goering obviously rings immediate alarm bells to anybody who's studied the Third Reich. Goering is a founder member of the Nazi Party, and in the event of Hitler's death, it was Goering who was to become Führer. To find a relative of that man living in Argentina in Misiones is amazing.
You have to talk to her.
Yep, completely. This is what happens when you dig in really deeply. We could be on the verge of finally finding the truth.
Next time on Hunting Hitler.
Holy this just got real.
Where did Margarita find all this?
Hidden behind that wall.
Behind a wall? Why? What are they trying to hide?
Dijo la policía están buscando a Hitler allá por las chacras.
The aircraft crashed in the middle of the bay.
Look at the damage on that, Mike.
Él conoció a Bormann, ¿viste?
Bormann?
Bormann.
Martin Bormann is meant to be dead.
Es la foto de Adolf Hitler en Misiones.
It's the smoking gun I'd spent the last 12 years of my life looking for.